What's good, everybody? Sam Dog coming at you guys with another video for the Week 8 NFL 2018 game picks. I got Dallas Stewart on the speakerphone again, coming back to do the game picks with me. What's up, Dallas? You ready? You ready to do this again, man?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. So last week we got most of our picks right. Last week, surprisingly,
It was a better week.
better week for game picks. I mean, I got. And then other than the two that we split on, I got one wrong. He got one wrong. You know, I definitely wish I would have picked Denver in that Thursday night game last week, and definitely I picked the Chargers, but the Titans made a dumb play to go for two instead of forcing overtime. But it's a completely new week now. The Seahawks are coming off the bye week, and now we're just gonna. But this time we're gonna go in order. This time around. First off, we start off the Week 8 slate. The leadoff game, Thursday Night Football, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Houston Texans. Miami obviously coming off of getting beat by the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Houston is coming off of beating the who did Houston beat? Oh yeah, who did Houston beat last week? They beat the Dallas.
They beat Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, that's right. Houston coming up. That's right. Houston forced Jacksonville to board.
We both got that game wrong last week.
Oh yeah, we definitely did. Houston coming off of forcing the Jaguars to bench Blake Bortles. I think Houston continues on this one. Houston wins this game. Houston's going to win this one. Deshaun Watson's going to continue to be on. Houston's about to go on a 4-game win streak.
It actually would be 5.
Oh yeah, that's right, 5. Crud.
Right.
Why am I freaking slipping on the records? That's right. So yeah, Houston is going to take their win streak on to 5 games. Houston wins at home against the Dolphins.
Yeah, this is a little tough for me, but I'll have to go with Houston. They're a better team, and they are at home, and they're starting to find their rhythm. They looked pretty impressive last week, beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. So I like them to get to 5-3.
Yeah.
And for Miami to fall to 500.
All right. Up next, we got the very first early morning game. I won't be able to watch this one because I'll be up in Seattle partying with some friends and then be trying to get on home to catch the Seahawks versus Lions game. But we start off with the last London game of the year. We got the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. That's a 6:30 a.m. game from our time, and of course it's going to be the game's in London, 12:30 Eastern time, or I don't know how, like, they got the time zones I think on Eastern time zone on this thing right here that I check on. But Jacksonville is turning out to be a big disappointment. They're slumping. They benched Blake Bortles last week in their loss to Houston. Got crapped up. Philadelphia blew a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter last week against the Carolina Panthers. They're probably feeling pretty pissed about that one. Jacksonville is falling apart with their running backs being injured in that too. I'm going to take the defending champs across the pond in London getting the win. I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Philadelphia well after that very, very heartbreaking loss at home to the Panthers. The Jaguars just haven't figured it out yet. I think the slide continues for them.
Yep.
The Eagles are a very desperate football team.
They are.
I like the more desperate team here.
Yeah, Philly's the more desperate team.
Even though Jacksonville's very desperate, but Philadelphia needs this game to keep pace in the NFC East.
And plus, Jacksonville's having all those injuries, so that's what's ultimately going to come back to bite them. So no splits yet. Up next, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Carolina Panthers. Baltimore coming off of that disappointing loss where Justin Tucker missed his very first PAT, which could have forced overtime, which allowed Drew Brees to finally be the third quarterback to beat all 32 teams in the league. Carolina coming off of a crappy game, but coming on big in the fourth quarter with 21 unanswered points to beat the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Baltimore's got a pretty good defense, and I know Cam Newton was just waking up, but Carolina, their season has been so-so right now. I mean, I know they only lost 2 games and all too, but Cam Newton's been very inconsistent lately in that too. Joe Flacco, Baltimore's just, I mean, Baltimore's got a pretty darn good defense right now in this one. It's kind of, this might, I don't know. I'm gonna go with the better defense. I'm gonna take the Baltimore Ravens.
Ugh.
Only because Cam's been inconsistent. You know, I mean, I could be wrong on this one too. Cam may start to get something going, but I'm gonna take the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I probably will have to say Baltimore as well, even though Carolina is at home. They could suffer somewhat of a letdown after that big comeback win at the Eagles. And does Baltimore bounce back from that tough loss at home to the Saints? I think they can do just enough to get it done.
And Justin
I guess
Tucker,
I like Baltimore on the road.
and Justin Tucker gets back to a consistent kicking, obviously too. Justin Tucker definitely is one of the best kickers. Is definitely one of the best kickers in the league right now. So yeah. Up next, we got the New York Jets at the Chicago Bears. The Jets coming off of that loss to the Minnesota Vikings, and it doesn't get any easier with them having to go to Chicago to take on the monsters of the Midway, and Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith, and then of course having to take on Mitchell Trubisky, Tariq Cohen, Jordan Howard, and other big names. I mean, the Bears are obviously coming off of losing 1 yard short of forcing overtime against the New England Patriots, where their special teams just blew it, and of course they threw Mitchell Trubisky threw three interceptions, I think, in that game too. They could have forced overtime, but they fell 1 yard short on the Hail Mary. And obviously, I don't know what I mean. I know what I'm gonna. This one's kind of pretty obvious. I mean, as much as I want to see the Bears lose because they had the tiebreaker over us, though, but I gotta pick the Chicago Bears. They're definitely way better than the Jets. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll have to go with the Bears at home.
Sorry, Gangrene. Sorry, Jet Central.
A little bit more experienced quarterback, even though I still don't really believe in Trubisky, but I believe in the Bears in this one. I cannot see the Jets pulling this one off.
Nah, sorry,
this
Gangrene.
one would be a
Sorry,
shocker
Jets.
if it happens.
Yeah, sorry, Gangrene and Jet Central, but we're picking Chicago on this one. Up next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Tampa Bay coming off of that crazy overtime win at home against the Cleveland Browns, where Jabril Peppers basically coughed it up, and Cincinnati is coming off of the bye after that loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cincinnati's coming off of getting pistol whipped by Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs from last week.
Dominated.
Yeah, they got totally dominated on both sides of the ball, and obviously Andy Dalton threw a pick six in that game to Ron Parker, which basically would be the dagger in that game. And other than that, though, they're playing Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay barely escaping at home with a win against the Cleveland Browns. I'm gonna take the Cincinnati Bengals at home in this one. I don't see Andy Dalton losing back-to-back weeks. I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, Cincinnati. I'm going to take Cincinnati in this one. They're going to play a lot better than they did against Kansas City. They've lost 2 in a row. Tampa Bay, I'm still not sold on. There's no way Cincinnati loses at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Cincinnati.
Up next, we got our Seattle Seahawks at the Detroit Lions. Obviously, we were talking about our keys to the game with this one. 1, we got to better protect Russell Wilson. 2, we still got to utilize the running game still with Chris Carson and Mike Davis and possibly Rashad Penny, getting him plugged in. And then, of course, with our tight end plays, I think we're getting Ed Dixon back. We don't know if KJ Wright's going to play, but he was limited in practice this week along with Ed Dixon. And obviously, Detroit has a good receiving core that we're going to have to play some man coverage on, be able to shut down. And another key is, we got to dial up some good blitzes and pressure Matthew Stafford, and let's see if the Seahawks continue to unleash Frank Clark on Detroit. And plus, this is the 3rd straight year in a row the Seahawks have had to face LeGarrette Blount, because we faced him in 2016 when he was in his last year with the Patriots. The year the Patriots won Super Bowl 51, where we pulled off that surprising win in Foxborough. Then we faced him last year when he won the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles, where we actually destroyed Philly at home on Sunday Night Football. And now we get him as a Detroit Lion. So this is the 3rd straight week in a row. And plus, we got it. My other main concern is we're going to have to really Our run defense is really going to have to be majorly prepared to take on the rookie running back, Kerryon Johnson, because he is lighting it up with the Detroit Lions in the league right now, though, too. I just hope that, but how well can we protect Russell Wilson? Because our offensive line has really been stepping up. Can we die down on the penalties is another question, too. We got to try to die down on the penalties, but Russell Wilson's continuing to still get plenty of time to throw, and he's still showing that he's still obviously the best quarterback in the NFC West, too. I know Goff got a good supporting cast, which is the only reason why he's good, though, too. But I think hopefully if we keep playing the way we've been playing, which we've been doing pretty good, I think maybe we could pull this off. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. In this one, too. I think we can pull one out the hat in Detroit.
Yeah, I'll have to go with the Seahawks as well to get a road win. I wonder what Detroit team the Seahawks are going to.
Yeah, that's another thing, too.
The team that got blown out by the Jets on the opening Monday night, or are they going to get the team that beat
the Patriots
New England and Green Bay at home?
Yeah, that's another.
Detroit's hot and cold. You never know which team you're going to get. And Matthew Stafford's really inconsistent at times.
Yeah, plus the last time we played Detroit was in the playoffs in 2016, where Paul Richardson had that crazy catch around that one defender, and he was kind of caught in the helmet too. And then also, but the last time we played Detroit was Russell Wilson's rookie year, where obviously we lost that one. That was back when Cliff Averill was in his final year with the Detroit Lions before he came over in 2013 and contributed to the Super Bowl win, obviously. And then the Lions at that time also still had Ndamukong Suh and Calvin Johnson, obviously. They got us on the final drive in the fourth quarter. I remember that because I was in Pullman. I was pretty pissed off about losing that one. And then last time we played them in regular season was Monday Night Football, where Cam Chancellor had that punch out on Calvin Johnson in the end zone, forcing the touchback, which would ultimately win us the game, too. And I remember that because I was there. But that was a crazy game, though, too. But yeah, hopefully we can pull through. And we don't know what Detroit team we're going to get, but if we can get pressure on them the way we got pressure on Derek Carr, unleash Frank Clark and Brandon Jackson and a bunch of other guys on them, and then use Jarran Reed to shut down Blunt and Kerryon Johnson, I think we can pull through and get the win in Detroit. All right, up next we got the Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, the last time these two played, there was that crazy Monday night game where Mahomes pulled that crazy play where he switched hands to hit Tyreek Hill for the first down, being chased by Von Miller. But this time, the only difference is they're not in Denver, they're in Kansas City. You know the home field advantage in Kansas City, how Kansas City really rallies off their home field advantage too. I still see Mahomes continuing off where he left off with Cincinnati. Although Denver's got a good defense, they were able to hold him well. But can that Kansas City defense still, do they get Eric Berry and Justin Houston back is the question. I know they're coming off a win against Cincinnati, but I think Kansas City, I'm gonna take Kansas City getting the sweep on Denver for the year.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Kansas City as well. They're just overall a better team than Denver, and they're just almost unbeatable at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Kansas City. All
right, up next we got NFC East game. We got the Washington Redskins at MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. And first, before we do this one, I want to give a shout out to the Entertainer Talking Sports, Chris. Thank you for having me on last night in that live stream of your guys' game against the Falcons. You're a cool dude, man, too, along with Rover Sports. It was cool chatting up with you guys for a bit, though, too, during the game and saying what some of the keys were in that game, too. I appreciate y'all for having me on. I know it's a tough season it's been a pretty tough season for the New York Giants. They're 1-15 coming off of that Monday night loss where if they would have been able to utilize the clock, maybe they could have had a comeback. It was still a close game. I know they got a touchdown but they had wasted too much of the clock, and so the touchdown was basically in garbage time, so the Falcons were going to win either way. Washington Redskins coming off of that 3-point win at home against the Dallas Cowboys, where you and me were watching that on Red Zone last week, where we reacted to that crazy penalty that Dallas got called for, which made the kick a 52-yarder, and the guy doinked it off the upright. But knowing this game, this one's kind of an obvious choice. So sorry, Rover Sports and Entertainer talking sports. But I gotta take the Washington Redskins on this one.
Yeah, I like the Redskins on the road to beat just a bad Giant team, unfortunately, and to keep their lead in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that at this point in the year?
The Washington Redskins, man, for real. Yeah, but still, yeah, so, I mean, Redskins are pretty stacked. They got Alex Smith is still playing good quarterback after all the years he's been in the league, too. Paul Richardson, of course, and I think the Redskins definitely have revitalized Adrian Peterson, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Because AP is playing some good football right now at running back for the Washington Redskins. Up next, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time these two teams faced each other was Week 1, which obviously ended in the tie. This time, the only difference is Baker Mayfield is the quarterback. Pittsburgh is coming off of a bye week, I think. Pittsburgh coming off of the bye last week after beating the Cincinnati Bengals. This time, there's no way they tie this time. They're at Pittsburgh. I'm taking the Steelers at home. I'm taking the Steelers beating the Browns.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers as well to beat the Browns. There's just no way they lose to the Browns at home, and they're going to keep their winning streak going. And they're going to get it to a three-game winning streak.
Yeah, for real. Up next, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the dumpster fire Oakland Raiders, who obviously made headlines on Monday trading Amari Cooper for a first-round draft pick to the Dallas Cowboys, which who would have thought that Jerry Jones would throw John Gruden and Reggie McKenzie a bone in the form of a first-round pick. The Oakland Raiders, man, obviously, John Gruden says they aren't tanking, but from the looks of it, I think the Raiders are tanking to get good first-round draft picks. They're going to have 3 first-round draft picks in the first round of the 2019 NFL Draft. So, kind of in a way, I saw someone say this kind of in a funny way on Facebook too, is that the Raiders have 3 Infinity Stones in the form of 3 first-round draft picks. They got Infinity Stones in the form of pick. But this is the Indianapolis Colts coming off of a blowout win against the Buffalo Bills. The Raiders' defense is in shambles, and the Colts obviously kicked the crap out of the. Marshawn Lynch is on IR. We don't know if he'll be how long he'll be out. Maybe possibly out for the year and probably the end of his career. Which Marshawn Lynch's last game would have been against the Seahawks in London, which we obviously won that game.
How ironic is that?
Pretty freaking ironic, but in this one, I know they're at Oakland and all the black hole and everything too, but the question is how dead is the fan base with them knowing with the way that the season's going and them obviously getting ready to go to Vegas and possibly playing the 2019 season in San Diego because Oakland is suing them and they want the Raiders out of Oakland because of the way they're suing them for moving to Las Vegas, trying to get some sort of thing. But this one, I'm gonna take the road team on this one. I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Colts as well. Even though I don't think they're that great of a team, but they're better than this mess that's going on in Oakland right now. Oakland is just really falling apart.
For real.
And I don't see it getting any better.
And who knows, maybe Derek Carr might be out soon.
Maybe.
Yeah. Up next, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals this time. We all know what happened last time. The 49ers laid an egg against the Cardinals defense where C.J. Beathard threw a pick 6. And Arizona is coming off of getting crapped on by the is Arizona coming off of a bye week? Let's see. Week 7. No wait. Arizona's coming off of a loss somewhere. Arizona is coming off of that beatdown they took from the Denver Broncos. That's right. I'm sorry, just looking at this thing. But yeah, Arizona's coming off of getting crapped on by the Denver Broncos. The 49ers obviously are coming off of getting majorly shitted on by the Los Angeles Rams in Levi's Stadium. So two teams, both obviously in shambles after, obviously the 49ers losing Jimmy Garoppolo and losing Jerick McKinnon before the season even started, and Richard Sherman being injured and all too. It has not gone the 49ers' way. The Cardinals, obviously, 1-6. Josh Rosen's only one being against that same San Francisco team. What do you think happens this time around? This game might be the battle will probably be the battle for last place in the NFC West.
Yeah.
In my opinion, in this one, this is our first toss-up game, isn't it? Or do we already have two where we sided with each other? Oh God.
I'm gonna probably go with San Francisco.
Yeah, I think I'll take San Francisco this time around too.
Yeah, after what Arizona did against Denver,
I
know they're both 1-6, but I think San Francisco is a better 1-6 if at all that makes sense.
I will be surprised if Arizona takes a shit on them again with Rosen.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Up next, we got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Rams coming off of shitting on the 49ers, and Green Bay coming off of beating the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football barely. It's hard to tell what's going to happen. Obviously, the Rams are still playing the best football in the league. Green Bay, they got Aaron Rodgers still. Aaron Rodgers has never lost to the Rams in his career. Keep that in mind. Now, they got the Green Bay. I know Green Bay obviously has the better quarterback and all too. I know the Rams got the better offensive line and offense and the best defense though. Green Bay's defense is in question marks. I just really hope. Obviously we're hoping that. There's a possibility, maybe, just maybe, this could be a surprise game. Maybe I think favoring Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers has never lost to the Rams. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep that up though. But they're playing in LA this time. Rams are a stacked team. I'm gonna take. I hate to say it. I hope Green Bay can pull it off though. I hope Green Bay can pull it off. But I gotta take the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, I have to take the Rams as well. The Green Bay they just have not gotten it together yet. They just seem like a very flawed, beatable football team right now, and I can't see them going into LA and beating the Rams. I like the Rams to get to 8-0.
But I do hope that Aaron Rodgers keeps up his winning streak against the Rams, because like I mentioned, Aaron Rodgers has never lost to the Rams in his career.
Wow.
Yep. Up next, Sunday Night Football, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Minnesota Vikings, a rematch of the Minneapolis Miracle game. New Orleans coming off of that barely escaping Baltimore with a 24-23 win. Minnesota took a giant crap on the New York Jets last week. Minnesota, another tough defense for the Saints to face this time. The only difference is Case Keenum is not the Vikings quarterback this time. It's Kirk Cousins. Saints obviously just made a trade for Eli Apple with the New York Giants. The Saints traded for Eli Apple at cornerback. This will be kind of interesting. This will definitely be an interesting game to watch. Adam Thielen has 6 straight 100-yard receiving yard games with the Minnesota Vikings. This could be a big implicator for the home field. Definitely, with the Rams the way they're playing too, but if the Saints can keep it going, they can still keep pace with the Rams before they get ready to play. I think and this is, now keep this in mind, this is the week before they play the Rams in New Orleans, but we might get a different outcome this time around. But I'm gonna take the New Orleans Saints. I'm not sleeping on Drew Brees.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take New Orleans as well. This is a tough one, but I think they get their revenge for that playoff loss last year, which obviously New Orleans came back and definitely probably should have won that game if not for that miracle finish.
Exactly, and then the guy missed a tackle. The guy missed a tackle.
To get their winning streak to 6 games and improve to 6-1
Oh
on
yeah.
the year.
Before they go into hosting the LA Rams in the Superdome,
For that big showdown next week.
which could
Which
possibly
will definitely have playoff seeding implications on the line in that one.
yeah. But like we said, you and me have the Saints possibly being the first team to beat the Rams, with the advantage being
Yeah.
the Saints in the Superdome. But yeah, we got New Orleans Saints. Finally, last but not least, Monday Night Football. This is an obvious choice. I got the New England Patriots taking a giant shit on the Buffalo Bills. Patriots in a blowout over the Bills. The Bills are one of the biggest dumpster fires in the NFL. Obviously, they got 2 wins. Obviously, where they surprisingly took a giant crap on Minnesota. Obviously earlier, and then they barely beat the Tennessee Titans. But this one's obvious. Patriots in a blowout.
Yeah, the Patriots. I like the Patriots in this one. They're going to get Gronkowski back. He did not play at Chicago last week. I like them to get their winning streak to what would that be? 5 games?
Yeah.
Since the 1 and 2 start. You're right, Buffalo. I don't even know how they have 2 wins, but they do. I know it's as much as I would love to see Buffalo pull off the upset, but it's not happening.
It's not happening. The Bills are a dumpster fire.
No, yeah. So a New England big.
Yeah, Bills might possibly be getting the number 2 pick in the draft. But that's it for our picks. The teams on the bye are Atlanta, Dallas, the Chargers, and the Titans, which we played the Chargers in Week 9. Which scary part is they'll probably be getting Joey Bosa back, and they'll probably have Melvin Gordon back. So, well, it'll be interesting to look out for this pick. But the only difference is the game will be in Seattle. But that's it for our picks. This time we have no splits this time. We have not split on any this time.
Let's dead even on all or pick the same picks.
All right, so we got Houston beating Miami, we got Philly beating Jacksonville, we got Baltimore beating Carolina, we got the Bears beating the Jets, we got the Bengals beating the Buccaneers, we got our Seattle Seahawks going into Detroit and hopefully getting a win. We got the Chiefs sweeping the Broncos, we got the Redskins probably most likely going to sweep the Giants, we got the Steelers beating Cleveland, we got the Colts winning in the Black Hole in Oakland, we got the 49ers beating the Cardinals, we got the Rams beating the Packers, which we hope that Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers can stay undefeated against the Rams, obviously. We got the Saints over the Vikings, and we got the Patriots shitting on the Bills. And that's it for our game picks for Week 8. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, and appreciate y'all for tuning in. So I'll make sure a little later when I'm doing when I edit the description to put the link to the Entertainer Talking Sports in the link. So until next time, Sam Dog, the infamous 253. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember, if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.